Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 552. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Brian Manjoma.
What up, what up?
All right, guys, we are back with another one. Before we start, a couple of things here. So Rich is apparently in Boston, so he probably won't be joining us tonight. He's hanging out with the family, which is always pretty cool. Adam is probably at the TV terminal, that's all he does now. Free time, TV terminal time. And Brett's not on tonight, some personal stuff, so you'll be stuck with the five of us, All right, man, let's get into it. So, yeah, a lot of questions tonight were of the handheld variety. So I actually, sequence all those questions to, get the kind of front load the first half of the show with the handheld questions. We got a lot of them,
What is this, a Tony cut?
It might be, All right, so let's start off with Mr. The AT. What's going? Damn, what you trying to say about Adam? Fuck. And Rich.
Uh-oh.
That's your boy, man. Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, first question here from Mr. One Subset. He goes, with the growing popularity and proliferation of gaming handhelds from the likes of Asus, Lenovo, MSI, and others, are we seeing the end of home consoles? The answer is no. Why? Because handhelds serve a completely different market, right? When handhelds are out there, they're marketed as two things: gaming handhelds or portable PCs. They never say anything about consoles. And even proof to your point, there is no handheld from a major company like the ones we mentioned that comes with a dock. Yes, there are docks for them. You could buy docks mostly from third parties, but they don't come with them out of the box, which lets you know this is not a console replacement, right? What is a console? A console is a machine that sits under or beside your television, right? It is meant to be a TV experience. That is a very different experience than a handheld. So even though there are a lot of handhelds, it is not the same market. It is more of a complement to. Yeah, like a set-top box, but handhelds are a complement to your PC. Like, hey, you're playing your PC games at home, you're on the road, you take this shit with you. That's what it's really about. It's not like no company has ever said we are trying to compete with consoles. They never even said we're trying to compete with PCs. They basically said this is a complement to your PC. So I don't know where you're getting that idea from, but it is a completely different market.
It's an interesting thing because how the things have pivoted to a handhelds when there was a question as to whether would there even be any more handhelds ever again.
Yeah,
but it seems like after the Switch came out, and then after the Steam Deck came out, that everybody's jumping on the bandwagon now.
Yeah, no, and to your point, that's why Chris and I thought the Switch was going to fail, because handhelds were basically dead at that point. The only one that was still out there was like the 3DS, which, became successful. Even that didn't do well initially, So yeah, that was a real thing. It's like, okay, the handheld market, it doesn't exist. It's just Nintendo's game. And look at it now. Look at it now. So yeah, again, I'm curious to know, actually, okay, either this actually came from a specific place, or, which is what I think it is, it's this whole kind of black and white mentality that people on the internet have, right? Like, it's either this thing or that thing, no in between, So it's probably that. And I'm not saying that against you, Subset. I'm just saying that's kind of the general thing with people. You're either into this or into that. PC gamer, you're not playing consoles. Console gamer, you're not playing PCs. It's that type of mentality, which is a little no, it's not. That's not the way it rolls, So yeah, what do you guys think?
I agree with what you said, Tony. Like, it's not the consoles aren't going to go anywhere as long as you can offer a really high quality thing on the television, and a lot of people play at home. I think it definitely there will be consoles. of some sort. Because again, it's more of a general market thing, and I definitely think that yes, those Steam Decks and things like that. Granted, I would say Steam Deck is probably the easier of those handhelds to to function with. Granted, but yeah, I don't think they're going to just kick, especially if people want to have nice looking games and not have to pay pay a PC price, which nowadays those handhelds are costing about as much as a pretty damn good PC.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Carlos, what are your thoughts, bro?
I agree with you guys. Definitely don't think that at least handheld market is the one that's gonna completely make the console cease to exist. I mean, it'll undercut some of its sales just because the market share is pretty tied down. So inevitably there's some sales that go to a handheld that undercut the potential sales of a console, but it's not a 1-to-1. So I think things like price, and I don't know if it's part of the questions list, Tony, but
yeah,
I don't know if we've talked about the price increase, the more recent price increase that we saw, but things like price and stuff like that are things that are definitely gonna hit the console market more than anything else. And also I think for consoles, I think their final form, and I've been talking about this throughout several years, but I think their final form is like an Apple TV type of device. I think that's its final form.
I agree. Yeah, but it's not, but the handhelds aren't replacing that even, it's like there will always be a market for something you play on your television, set-top box, basically. That will always exist because it's a different experience.
And just like how, consoles are not replacing what's it called?
PC.
Handhelds for rooftop parties.
That's right.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. All right. So there's that. Unless other guys want to jump in on that one.
No, I agree. With Carl's. I would just add the caveat that there's two things eroding the console market, and that's kind of games as a service, and then the handhelds. They have this two-part problem. You have and we've talked about this. I think Microsoft is just going to move to just be a service. Xbox just being a service, offering Game Pass or whatever they call it in the future, offering cloud gaming. They can leverage Azure for that. And like Carl said, you have a set-top box, but the set-top box doesn't need to be a mini PC or this custom thing, that like what PS5 is. They won't have to design it too hard. They're just going to design it to accept cloud gaming and streaming, and then you can install some stuff and play it. But it seems like the handhelds are the ones focusing on that, where consoles were focused on really streamlining the hardware, getting the bus to be as fast as possible, getting a better operating system, a better user experience, all that stuff. Now I don't think Xbox cares. I don't think Sony cares either. I think they're both going to move in that direction. They'll just have their set-top box, right? Whatever the PS6 is, but they're going to, like, Sony seems to be moving that direction. I don't know what the hell Microsoft is doing at this point. And then you have Lenovo and Steam and Asus and all these guys are
Asus, MSI, yep.
Yeah, you have those guys, and then there'll be other guys who pick up that mantle, and you got Nintendo in there too. So you have that market, and but like you said, there'll always be the experience on the TV, but that experience is not going to be like what we knew. It's not going to be this like ultra powerful. My system has got like 8 channels and this many CUDA cores. It's not going to be that anymore. It's not about that. They're gonna Microsoft's already leveraging their cloud service for all that stuff, and they can stream it. And then it's going to really depend on more your internet. How good is it versus what series do you have on your? Is it Series S? Is it Series X? That's not going to matter. I think in the next gen, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, Brian, what are your thoughts, man?
It's interesting.
idea, but yeah, I just don't think it will replace, because again, consoles have been here for so long, and again, I keep saying this to Tony, and he knows how many times have consoles died in the past, or supposedly have been the end of consoles in the past. So they all seem to stick around because I think they're just an easy thing, as Tony said. You just put them behind your TV or on the side, and that's it. Simple as, nothing else to them. But I can definitely see the rumor that the PS6 will have like a companion handheld, just because they want to expand into that space because they think there's a market there. I think that there is a market. I just don't think it's a very large market. So whether or not that pays off, we'll see.
No, I agree with that. I agree with everything that has been said, to quote Richard. By the way, before we get to the next question, because I'm, as I usually do during the show, I'm always looking at Twitter. This game, and I think we've talked about it before. Hell is Us. Is this another Souls-like? That's what it fucking looks like to me.
Hell is Us.
For some reason, I thought Hell is Us was some like little indie game or something. Maybe because the Us Among Us.
Oh,
no,
well, no. There was another game that was like Little Devils Inside. That was an indie game that's been in development for. But this is like a
this is a third person
game, right?
Yeah, yep. I'm looking at it now. Like, all right, another one. I wouldn't be surprised if it's from China or Korea.
Well, no, I mean wasn't that just shown on one of the PlayStation dealies?
Yeah,
People thought it looked like Death Stranding.
No,
Yeah,
it's
kind of does look like
this one. Hell is Us.
Yeah, I remember
the trail I'm looking at now. I'll post this on our Twitter site because I can't access it. This chat here while I'm doing the stream. That would look bad. But okay, yeah, because I remember that Metal Gear game you're talking about, or the Death Stranding game. But look at this footage. It looks like a fucking Soulsborne game.
They also never really showed what the game was either on that thing. It was just like a CG trailer.
It's like maybe, because right here he's fighting. He's got that
whip thing.
But right here it's like an axe, a giant buster sword, another giant. But it's like an axe and a buster sword. That's what this trailer's showing, at least. Looks like a Soulsborne to me.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Slow action. Everybody seems to do it these days, right?
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. I
will see something real quick.
Oh, hold on. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It doesn't look. It looks Western to me.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I don't know what it is, but it could be.
Maybe you're right.
I'll look up.
Yeah, look it up. Yeah, look up Barry. The thing I was going to say, Carlos, Barry Burton goes, how many CUDA cores will that new Virtual Boy have? Good question. Shout out to Blitz, obviously, Red Pill Sleeper Cell, Dirty Death Dealer, a.k.a. Shout out to him. Dirty Death Dealer is the man.
Shout out to Jolly Yellow Nerd who won the contest.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Jolly Yellow Nerd, I'll say this again at the end of the show, but once you get it, because we gave you a tracking number and everything, please tweet it out and at Throwdown and Manny, that'd be good.
That one should, at least from the way it seems to be moving, it should be there by the 23rd. So, excuse me.
Tuesday? Excuse me?
Moving pretty damn quick.
Something else is happening on Tuesday, but I'll talk about that on the Thursday show. That's all I'm going to say about that.
For Bison, it is Tuesday.
Yeah.
By the way, Montreal is the place where.
Okay, so it is Western.
It's a Western game, yeah.
Yeah, it is a Western game. Then good eye there, Carlos.
It is a French game.
It looks like a survival horror, but I understand some of the Soulsborne sort of aspects of it, and the Death Stranding. I definitely see it because I saw the trailer too.
That you definitely see it. By the way, I love how we brought up Jolly Yellow Nerd, and there he is. Yeah, he just showed up. He's like I'm going to tweet the fuck out of it, and he does say ETA is Tuesday. So yeah, what's going on, Chris?
Yep. It kind of reminds me of Remnant.
Yes,
but that's also, I agree with you with the Souls-like stuff because I saw him walking in that field. He was going to fight this giant boss, and then he's doing dodges moves. so very much like that. Very much things like because Bloodborne was all about dodging. He doesn't have a shield. It looks like he just dodges a lot. So or Sekiro.
Yeah.
But very much like that. So I get where you're coming from with that.
At least with that with that tweet I sent you. At least with that.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. All right, let's move on here. Whoa, we got Eurocar in the house. We got a question here. Lenovo had to cancel some Legion Go 2 pre-orders due to high demand. What are your thoughts? All right, so I'm going to read this article. This is from Eurogamer. Yeah, what's up?
Eurogamer?
Yeah, Eurogamer, Eurocar. Excuse me. All right.
I sense a theme.
So yeah, the headline is Lenovo cancels Legion Go 2 pre-orders from its own website after demand, here's the quote, substantially exceeds projections. So here's, crazy. Okay, so here's the article for Lenovo has confirmed that whilst Lenovo Legion Go 2 units are now making their way to major retailers globally, some pre-orders placed on Lenovo's very own website will need to be canceled. The company did not confirm how many pre-orders have been affected, but said it was truly sorry for the inconvenience that has caused. So this is what Lenovo says. We will need to cancel some pre-orders placed directly on Lenovo.com. We didn't believe in holding onto customer payments for products we can't ship in a timely manner. As soon as our online inventory is replenished, Lenovo.com will show updated availability and ordering will reopen. We know this is frustrating and we're truly sorry for the inconvenience it caused, especially for our most passionate fans. The Lenovo Legion Go Gen 2 was built with you in mind, and this experience has been an important lesson for us. We'll use this to improve and ensure a better process moving forward. So the very first thing that came to mind when I read this, it kind of goes back to the first question about price. Apparently, price doesn't matter. This thing right here is actually, it's $10.99. It is double what the original cost. I'm not exaggerating that number, by the way. It is literally double what the original cost, right? Actually, a little more than double, right? But apparently this shit don't matter because they couldn't even keep up with stock because they just sold out. Granted, you could, if you want to look at it cynically, you could be like, oh, they had 10,000 units ready and, they had 10,001 pre-orders, some shit like that, right? So you could say that. But I find that very interesting because you would assume, oh, shit, like, I thought everybody was broke, But at the same time, and I said this when we spoke about this, I think when the price was just, it wasn't rumored, it's actually confirmed at that point. I said, maybe like Nvidia, they're like, let's put out the high price shit first because we know the whales are going to buy it. Then we'll come out with the cheaper version later, But regardless, that was the first thing that came out to me. I'm like, whoa. I guess the high prices, nobody gives a fuck. They want this goddamn system, That is crazy, bro. And here's the thing, because Syrian Air Force, he's like, well, he's not asking this, but he's bringing up some of the specs. So yeah, the major upgrades there are some like slight design tweaks. It's more rounded on the sides, different D-pad. But the major difference is got an OLED display. I believe it's still 120 hertz. And then it has an option for the Z2 or the Z2 Extreme chip. So yeah, that's interesting. That I'm like, damn, $10.99, nobody give a fuck. It's like, again, look at this quote: substantially exceeded projections. That's wild, dude. But I'll say this: shout out to Lenovo. They're like, we don't like, even though it sucks that they had to cancel pre-orders, they don't want to make a promise they can't keep. So it's like that. So that's good, at least, even though it was like, if you pre-ordered it kind of reminds you of the PS5 days, right? You pre-order shit, you're ready. Like, yeah, I may check out. Oh no, denied. Yeah, but Carlos, for no reason whatsoever, what's your take on that? My take is like, motherfuckers don't care. They want that shit. Fuck the price.
Well, it's funny that you bring up that, your first thought was, damn, it's like for this price, like it's substantially more. My first reaction was a cynical reaction.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, they might be doing the artificial scarcity.
They could be.
But honestly, no one knows, or at least no one outside of Lenovo knows. So it's interesting. I wonder, I truly wonder what is driving people to, get this.
I think it's that OLED. I really think it's that OLED. I know it sounds crazy, but like, and this is purely anecdotal, but the people I've spoken with, that is the main thing. They're more hyped for the OLED than the fucking Z2 Extreme chip. That's the reason that I'm excited for it, you know? But like, people are like, no, I want that fucking OLED. Yeah, and think about it like this, Carlos. This thing is going to be the third handheld with an OLED, right? The only ones, and you know, there might be some weird ones from Neo, who the fuck knows, but the only ones that I can think of are the Steam Deck OLED, the Switch 2, the Switch OLED, and and this one. So that's 3, you know?
And the OG.
Well, I'm talking about modern ones, Manny. But you're right. Vita was the first handheld to have an OLED. So Carlos, it might be that. It's like, it is fucking rare, you know?
Yeah, because it just, for me, it doesn't add up. This type of the whole, you know, obviously, and the verbiage is not, you know, quantifiable. You know, substantially more. You know, we don't even know what the starting point was, and we don't know what substantially means in their terms. So, you know, good for them, I guess. I'm still kind of baffled.
By the way, Assyrian Air Force brings up a good point. This 1099 one is the weaker one. The one with the Z2 Extreme is 1249. That's crazy. By the way, Assyrian Air Force, he says he has a question about the Xbox Ally. Is that the one you already submitted? Because if that's what you're thinking of, we got you, bro. We got you. Anyway, continue, Carlos.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just don't know, you know, what fan base, you know, because there's just so many console or so many handhelds in the market, and then we still got the ROG Xbox Ally that still hasn't even gotten a price yet. So, but it's releasing this year. They haven't delayed it. But we got so many things, and it's still selling this well at that price. There's no limit for the potential of nerds, man.
I guarantee they. So think about it. That 1249 one sold out.
Yeah.
Fuck. I guess no. These guys talk all this shit about it's too expensive. They buy it. They still buy it.
It's the RGBs, man.
You know. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Brian. What are your thoughts on this, man? 1249 motherfuckers don't care. They bought it.
It's upsetting because that's way too high of a price point for most tech. I mean, I used to. I still think that any phone over like 1,000 is just not worth the price point. So the fact that these things are over that price, it's like, no, that's ridiculous. Like, that's iPhone level territory, and that's car payment, rent payment, mortgage payment type territory. So no, that's way too much. Granted, we don't know how many they did have on order. Again, as Tony said, it could be a case where they have like 2,000 and they needed 2,002. So, it exceeds expectations. Like, okay, yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's just way too much. It's just the price point. It's like, no, that's too much. Like, that's almost 2 PS5s. Well, possibly 2 PS5s. I don't know what the prices are these days, but you get the idea. That's like 2 PlayStations.
It is. Well, it used to be 2 PlayStations, Brian. Now the PlayStation price went up.
Yeah, it's just too much. So I just don't see it. Again, maybe people just want it because it's like the new hot thing and it's expensive, it's powerful. So again, we live in a world where the Apple Vision Pro sold. I don't know how many it sold, but it sold. That thing was, 3,500?
Yeah, thankfully, at least Apple didn't say this, Brian, but the reports are that it didn't sell that well. So people aren't that crazy, at least, you know? But to your point, dude, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Brian. My worry is that this is going to normalize the price of these handhelds.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. When you were talking like, oh shit, yeah, that is why this is disturbing, because now companies are like, oh, they're willing to pay that much? Let's fucking go. It's crazy.
Yep, that is the one thing I fear the most, that this becomes the standard price point, because I really don't want another situation like with PC graphics cards where apparently the standard is over $1,000 for like a decent one. Like, no, no, that's not how it should be.
Yeah. And again, it's so crazy because what was so cool about the original one is the fact that it cost the same as its competitors at the time. Now Lenovo's like, fuck it. We're going to be the most expensive one. And they're being rewarded for it. Again, I'm not shitting on Lenovo. I like Lenovo, obviously, but it's like, fuck. Now all these, Asus and MSI looking, oh, word? We could charge that much? Excuse me? Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts, man, on this thing, just apparently, exceeding expectations?
Well, I'll take it at face value, because if they wanted to do artificial scarcity, just use Nintendo's playbook. You don't need to do a last minute like cancellation and or anything like that. You could just limit the stock immediately, get the pre-orders like blocked, and then just hype the thing, right? And then that would cause the demand to go way up. This seems legitimate that maybe they got more interest than they thought would be there. And so I'll take it at face value, but man, those prices like that people are willing to pay, a basic one is now $1,000, which is nuts. So what do you say, $1,250 for the?
Yeah, $1,250 for the high end one, and then $1,099 for the entry level one.
Entry, yeah. That's nuts. That's outrageous. So the fact that they have the price that high, and they get that much demand, so much so they had to cancel some of them because they don't have enough. That's insane.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't even.
I know, man. I'm like, because you would have thought, because I thought this. I'm like, this shit's dead in the water, bro. That's too much money. No, apparently not. It's crazy. All right, moving on here. Assyrian Air Force. He goes, hey, everyone. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I did. I had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for asking. He goes, hope you all had a good weekend, and I hope that Randy Pitchford could get the help he needs. So do we. So his first question is it bizarre that the Asus ROG Ally, Xbox Ally has no official price, considering it's a few weeks away? All right, so nothing official yet, but the leaks, quote unquote leaks, say that the entry level will be $599 and the high end will be $899. In lieu of the Legion Go price, that looks very fucking good, doesn't it? It's like, damn, bro, we live in a world where an $899 handheld is the cheaper option.
It's a bargain.
That is insane. And Chris, let me get that tinfoil hat real quick. Is my conspiracy theory. I think Lenovo was waiting. Like, let's see. Excuse me. Asus is waiting. Right. Let's see what Lenovo's going to charge, bro. That's my conspiracy theory. I have absolutely no evidence for this, but I'm just throwing that out there. That is my irresponsible conspiracy theory right there. But yeah, if the price of the Xbox Ally is, as oh my God, as quote unquote cheap now as we think. Yeah. Listen, if $12.99 sells out, this shit's going to sell the fuck out too. I guarantee you that. Because remember,
it's crazy.
Yeah, because Carlos, because I don't know about you, but I always thought, I don't think this Xbox Ally is going to do anything. Now I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I mean, the ROG Ally, I don't know what the sales were, but I'm pretty sure the ROG Ally was the more popular between that and the Legion Go.
Yeah.
I always saw the most buzz from that. Mm-hmm. And now with the Xbox thing, it's because the Legion Go still has Windows on it.
Regular Windows, yeah.
Regular Windows. The other one has the modified version.
Yeah, so man.
It's got a lot going for it. It's got the controllers and everything. So if the Legion Go 2 did this, I don't see why the ROG Xbox Ally can't do that same thing. Especially if the prices are anywhere near that. Obviously, we know why the prices haven't been announced, because they're waiting. You said, they're waiting on what Lenovo did, and also they're waiting on it's like, what can we get away with?
bro.
Apparently, they can get away with murder.
Yeah, I can say this now because it's kind of out there, but I have been talking with Asus for months now, right? I even had they came to the office and did all this stuff, right? And the one thing they wouldn't answer was the price. As a matter of fact, there was a date. This part I'm not going to say publicly, but they were supposed to announce the price. Actually, no, I could say they were supposed to announce the price at Gamescom at the last minute. It was like, nope, can't do it. So they're waiting. Like this shit, like what is it, October 16th, I believe. They're gonna wait, bro. They're gonna wait until the last minute. But I think now that they see what happened with Lenovo, they're probably like, "Whew, okay, good." If motherfuckers are willing to spend $12.49 for a system, they'll spend $8.99. Because aside from like the OLED, they have the same like basic specs. The Z2 Extreme and all that, and the Windows, the modified one. The less heavy version. I think it's like a no-brainer at this point. Which one do you get? How important is OLED to you, bro? That's the question you really got to ask yourself. How important is OLED? How important are detachable controllers? Because in my estimation, the Xbox joint is way more like enticing, right? Basic same specs as the Legion Go with that leaner Windows and shit, and $400 less, bruh.
And I think it has more memory, if I recall.
It might. What is it, 32 versus 24? Is that what the difference?
Let me see.
Look it up. I gotta check this shit out myself. Yeah, because the specs for both are now out and official, So we don't have to speculate on that. Where are the specs on this shit? So this is for the Legion Go 2. I don't know if there's a high one. It says 16. There's no way it starts with 16. I mean, it probably starts with 16 gigs, but usually they say up to, which is interesting. This got to be the base version because it starts with 1 terabyte. I'm pretty sure you can go up to 2.
Yeah, 16 gigs is the lower end.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing where the
screen size is the other difference. So that's the other thing. The Legion Go 2 has an 8.8 inch screen versus a 7-inch screen, right? So that could be it too. And I think that price, bro. But again, like we said, price doesn't fucking matter apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the ROG Xbox Ally has 16 gigs as well, but that's
starting.
That's starting. Where the hell is the X?
Yeah, like what is there up to? That's what I want to know. But yeah, again, man, like none of the old rules apply anymore, man.
24 for the X.
For the X, okay. That's the highest it goes, right?
Yeah, that's the highest it goes.
Okay.
I can't find what's the name of the Legion 2 Extreme one called?
It's just called Legion Go. I guess type Legion Go to Z2 Extreme. Just type that in.
Z2 Extreme, okay.
Yeah, just type that in and see what you get. It's very interesting to me. And again, like I said, while Carlos is looking, it's like Asus, Lenovo, and MSI have each put out minimum 3 versions of these within the last 3 years. People are clearly buying these things. Matter of fact, when I went to CES, not last year, but the year before that, I asked them, how is the Asus doing, the handheld? And they were like, yo, that, just like Lenovo said, this shit exceeded our expectations, So there's clearly a market for this stuff. And I have seen some, allies in the wild, Granted, they have been, at like press events, so maybe that's why. But still,
Here we go.
You go ahead, man. Hit us with them numbers.
32 gigs.
32 gigs
for the Extreme.
Yeah, for the Extreme. Oh, God.
But remember, the Legion Go 2 does have a full-fledged Windows on it. So
yes.
I wonder how much of that is system memory taking for Windows.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure someone's already done the math, but yeah, it's
And
a battle of two titans.
Yeah, but we should say this though: the Windows part is not locked in stone because Microsoft says they want to bring that leaner version of Windows to other handhelds. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be there's going to probably be an update, for the Legion Go 2 and other systems. So that'll make it even more enticing.
Oh yeah,
It's crazy, man. But Carlos, this goes back to the other thing we discussed with handheld consoles, or handheld, regular consoles. The price doesn't seem to fucking matter anymore, does it? But then, but at the same time, I'm thinking about this too. Like we said in the intro, handheld market and console market are different. Are console people willing to pay that much? If you're buying a handheld, you're already an enthusiast. We know that, So are console people willing to pay that much?
Well, I mean, and what's the price of the PS5 Pro now? Like $700?
$750, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I believe it's $750.
So I mean, that's crazy, and that's for a mid-gen refresh.
Mm-hmm.
So the PS6, que vaya con Dios, because that shit is gonna be an arm and a leg.
$899 minimum. It's probably gonna be more. It's probably gonna be more than that. Fuck out of here, because this shit ain't dropping for another 2 years. So it's probably,
by the way,
yeah, go ahead.
You know what the catalyst was for all of this? Obviously, there's a lot of factors.
Yeah,
like inflation.
I was about to say, besides the tariffs,
Yeah, all the economic stuff is part of it, but one of the biggest things is Apple. Apple is the reason for this, because they've normalized selling $1,000+ phones for every year. So consoles and console makers and all these manufacturers are like, oh well, why can't we do that?
Yeah, no, you're probably right about that. Jolly Yellow Nerd says, calling it now. If PS6 has multiple SKUs, one of them will be $1,000. Yeah, I don't definitely believe that.
We'll think about a contest. I don't know. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know if we can afford that, guys.
Because we're gonna put a PR statement under the Throwdown Twitter, like, because of market conditions, this will be the first time a Throwdown contest is not gonna happen.
Yeah, because every time there's a new gen, we give you guys a console, but now, fuck.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. You're not gonna put us in the poorhouse, bruh. We don't make that much money off this fucking podcast. Like we literally just make enough to buy a console every couple of years.
Yep.
All right.
A console, maybe a game, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Another question from a Syrian Air Force. So this is really more of like a general tech question, but we'll keep it in the realm of gaming, handheld gaming to be specific. What do you guys make of the partnership of Nvidia and Intel for CPU and GPU? Again, we're going to stay away from because it's not a tech podcast. But the first thing I thought when I saw this news, I'm like, oh shit! Imagine handhelds with that chip. That'll be dope. Because right now the only handheld that has Nvidia is the Switch. Right? Everything else is AMD. So I'm like, ooh, that's kind of cool. So it'll for all intents and purposes, imagine like a Intel APU, but instead of like ARC graphics, it's proprietary stuff. It'll have Nvidia iGPU in there instead. Very interesting. So immediately I'm like, oh, handhelds, let's go. So I think that's kind of cool, but we're not going to see this shit for a long time. Probably another like 2 or 3 years, But yeah, that was the first thing I thought. I'm like, oh, handhelds, that'll be dope. What do you think, Carlos?
Yeah, the first thing wasn't that, although that's part of the thinking. The first thing that I thought was, this is probably for their their data center servers, because they all require GPUs.
Which it is. They said that they said that.
And we know that they tried to buy ARM.
Yeah,
and that shit got shut down, I think in the EU or something. So they couldn't buy ARM. So they had, and I think they're going for the next best thing, and that's Intel. Intel is interesting, man. What they've been going through the last year, with all this stuff, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I think, did they say that they're talking? Because I think I saw something about an SoC for gaming purposes.
Yeah, they said
that'll
that.
be.
Yeah. That's why it popped up, because they said this is, like you said, data centers, and they also said for they said laptops. I'm like, okay, that's not that far away from a handheld,
Yeah.
especially since some like the MSI that has the freaking laptop chip in it, bro. So yeah, I'm like, that's kind of cool. So that just goes to to our earlier point. It's like handhelds are a thing; they're here to stay, and they're going to keep getting more powerful. All right. Anybody else have any thoughts on the Intel and Nvidia merger not the partnership when it comes to handhelds? All right. Again, we're not. There's other stuff we could talk about, but we're not getting into that. It's not a dedicated tech show. But that's literally the biggest fucking computing news of the year, without a doubt. I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah. They bought what, like 5% or 10%?
5%. And Intel stock went up. Those motherfuckers were happy.
Yeah.
But like you said, what's happening with Intel this year, very interesting.
They're getting propped up for sure.
They really are, man. Although, like I said on the last show, I'm still a little uneasy that the government owns, like, I think, how much percent now?
10%.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't like that. And by the way, before you guys, I mean, for real, right? What the fuck are we doing? Are we seizing the means of production here? And this isn't because of the administration. It's like, I don't care who's in charge. I don't want the government owning shit like that. But this is the way things are now. All right, let's move on here. Ooh, another one from Mr. Eurocar9.
No.
So, okay, since next-gen consoles are going to cost substantially more than their predecessors, they have to advertise these machines as doing something special or unique. Gotta have something. Xbox looks like it's going to be doing so by doing the whole, this is an actual PC route. What do you think PlayStation will do for the PS6? Will the PS6 be able to clean your ears? Man, it better be able to do something else, but I'm not going to say that on air, But it is a good question. Like, what can this thing do? Because, my typical answer would be the thing that it could do to stand out is just have great games. We don't even get those anymore, right? Well, how many exclusives have we had on PlayStation 6, Chris? 5, like 11,
Yeah, I think it's like close to that 11 or 12.
By the way, we're not exaggerating. It is literally under 20, bro. It is under 15. It's bad, So games aren't it, and I'm speaking just for myself. Aside from power, what the fuck else do you want from a console? You want games, And we're at the point where PlayStation is putting their games on other systems, right? What are you going to need a PS6 for?
Yep.
And
Just wait.
Yeah. And Carlos, what's that power going to be used for? To make games that you can play on PS5 look better. Because that's going to happen for the first 4 years, all that cross-gen shit,
Well, it's going to be for GTA 6 and The Last of Us 2 remake.
Yeah. Pretty much. So, yeah, I honestly, unlike ChatGPT, I can say I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
Well, and we, at least this is me, what I think Xbox is going to do. They're going to do the PC route.
Yeah.
Remember when they did the Xbox One, they did the TV, sports. They're going to do something similar, but it's going to be like, oh, you can stream.
You can stream.
You can stream on our console. You can do all this. You can edit, you can work on it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's the route they're going to take.
Yeah, they're going to do that. That's what rumors are saying too. I think we slightly did answer this question though earlier. Maybe that's what PlayStation's going to do to differentiate itself. It's going to have multiple, like it's going to have the console and the handheld. Maybe that's how it's going to distinguish itself.
Yeah.
Other than that,
whoa.
yeah.
You don't want to pay $1,200 for a cheap console? Well, instead of us telling you to get a second, third job, get the handheld version of it.
Yeah. And then they're going to be, but if you do want to get a second or third job, buy both of them.
Get the bundle.
Back in the bundle, baby. You buy this bundle, we save you $100. And now that we've seen with the handhelds, you think motherfuckers wouldn't do that? Yo, I got both of them, son.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
I had all three.
I'm proud. I'm proud to spend $2,000 on a PlayStation and PlayStation handheld, bro.
Nope.
That shit is crazy. Manny, like you said, the regular band's being priced out of consoles, man. We're done.
It's sounding a lot like the movie industry.
It's for the bourgeoisie, you know?
Yeah, it's like these companies think that they're better than, you know, that they're the premium and that you should be paying premium prices. No, you should not. The
Manny,
whole point
you know why you're saying that? Because you're not a premium gamer, like Randy Pitchford said. You know,
Yeah,
these are premium consoles for premium gamers, man.
Oh well, you know, Randy should talk because he's a fucking rich person. So a measly $99 for a game doesn't mean a damn thing.
Ooh, why don't they just eat cake?
Exactly. So it's like, you know, again, like it's like, don't price out the regular person. You know, the people go to these things for all kind. You know, like this isn't a piece of entertainment. It should just be a reasonably priced so that everybody can get their hands on it. That's what it should be, plain and simple.
Yo, I'm laughing because I'm hearing Adam right now. Yo, they got a layaway plan?
Layaway plan?
I mean, that's what people are gonna have to do, man. Like you're gonna have to put your fucking console on layaway for at least a half a year, you know, to pay it all off. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but you know.
Oh, but buy now, pay later I saw a video about this. It's everyone's doing it.
Fuck. What is that shit called? It's like pay now, buy later, or buy now. Yeah, that shit is a fucking. Don't do it, people. Don't do that. Don't put yourself into debt for a fucking console.
Why do you need to take a loan to buy a fucking console? It shouldn't be that way. You should just be able to go to to a store and buy your fucking console or buy, you know, whatever your favorite places are and buy them. I thought that shit where those fake lines that they were creating online were also a bunch of bullshit too. Where it's like, oh, you need to log onto our site in order to, you know, get onto a virtual line. No, you fucking don't. You don't need to do any of that shit. You know, you're creating this idea of scarcity where you don't. You're like somehow you're gonna just mysteriously stop producing fucking consoles. They did that shit during the pandemic. Yeah, because they had a captive because of our captive audience. So now every single thing now is like, oh, get onto the virtual line so that you can get your hands on.
Man, kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass. You shouldn't need to get on a virtual line to get a fucking PlayStation controller or any of that other shit. It should just be available. But the problem is you getting people to think that this is some sort of exclusive or some sort of, you know, something is very special about this thing, and then it creates more, you know, it creates that idea, oh well, I need to have it now. I'm sure those get handheld people are doing that shit too. They're cutting the line short because to keep the demand high.
Yeah, they could be doing that. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I'll go down the line here. Actually, man, you have an answer for this? Like, what could the PlayStation 6 do to differentiate itself? Actually, I got an answer for you. Don't cost $1,000.
Don't cost $1,000. Don't cost $1,000, and be able to run the minimum 60 frames per second. 4K.
1080p.
Yeah.
1080p. frames per second. Yeah. Well, these consoles right now can only do 1080p and then upscale it to 4K.
Manny, you'll love this because every generation they always promise the new like resolution and frame rate. Now they're promising 8K 120 frames a second.
Bull fucking shit. Ain't gonna happen. It's not even, won't even exist. What they're going to do is it's going to, at best, it's going to, like, if the new consoles are coming out, they're probably going to run at 4K at 30, right? And then they're going to upscale that shit up to 8K. That's probably going to be it.
8K.
Or,
nobody has a fucking 8K TV.
Nope,
There's
who
like
has
two
a-
dudes.
yeah, why are they going to invest in something like that? But I mean, yeah, it can run at, they'll say run at 8K, but all they're going to be doing is fucking upscaling the shit anyways.
Yeah. Chris, what were you gonna say, man?
Well, I was saying we just talked about Resident Evil 9 on the Switch 2 running at 600p and getting upscaled. You know, you know, they have to do all the AI tricks and whatever to get that shit to look, you know, decent. But I mean, that's what we have to look forward to. We're not getting actual like power. We're getting like, oh well, we can leverage these technologies to boost the thing, and it's not actually even at 1080. You know,
Yeah.
it just upscales it and fakes it. Does you know frame swaps and all this shit, and DLSS and bam, you know. But yeah, it's all nonsense. And for this system, the only unique selling proposition that gamers give a damn about is the games.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. It doesn't matter. You could spit out power. Mark Cerny could get up there and tell me it could, you know, it's like, well, fucking make your breakfast in the morning. I'm like, no, I don't care. That's stupid. It has to have games. Every generation has gotten worse at this, having exclusives and having stuff for us to play. To this generation's been pitiful. You have you could almost count on each finger how many exclusives fucking PlayStation's had. Where you go back to PS2 and they had like 200 something, almost 300 exclusives. PS3 had like 150, 160 exclusives, and then PS4 it's like less. It's like 40 or 50, and now we're down to like 12. It's ridiculous. So what's this gonna have? 2? You know, it's just geometrically dropping, and then so. How are you going to sell this to people? You're going to have this big, powerful set-top box on your TV to do what? Stream Netflix? Like, what is it going to do? Besides games,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that matters. None of this other shit matters.
Yeah. Brian, what do you think PSA should do to differentiate itself?
I honestly have no idea because I don't know what they can do because at this point these consoles are so similar apart from the games that there's no point. So it will have to be something drastic.
Yeah,
I do like the idea of the companion piece, like a handheld. I think that's a cool idea, but then how's that going to be used? Because again, we had the Wii U situation, which was a cool idea, but it wasn't beyond anything that. Well, it wasn't beyond anything else. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe grill something. I don't know.
Hey, grill something. Make me some food, bitch.
Actual George Foreman grill this time.
You know?
Hey, I just said breakfast was out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did say that. Yeah. Oh man.
No, but Chris, maybe we'll actually get no loading times this time.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's a pipe dream. Who knows?
Oh man. All right. Let's move on here. A couple questions from Black Viet. What's going on, brother? Why are modern sequels not as exciting compared to sequels from past generations? Sequels to games like Spider-Man, Dad of War, and Horizon I played and I just stopped even though I loved the first entries. Does anyone on the panel feel this way, or did you enjoy the sequels to games you played on current gen? No, you're right. Because think about, one of the things that was kind of historically true for a while, for gaming, generally the sequel was better, right? Because they refined the mechanics, right? You could go on and on. Mega Man 2, Street Fighter 2, Streets of Rage 2, like
Uncharted 2.
Yeah, like you could go on and on and on. But yeah. Yeah, Mass Effect 2, like, bro, there's so many examples, right? But lately, and I know you're specifically talking about PlayStation games here, but yeah, they're just not as good as they used to be, because they're just like I think we talked about this on the last show too, because or I don't know, but we talked about the what the fuck was it? It was a Naughty Dog game. It was a Yote. We were asked, will this game sell? We're like, it'll sell, but it ain't gonna sell as much as the first one, just because of the trajectory. Every PlayStation game has sold less, the sequel, right? So, and I think it's just because they're just playing it safe. For the most part, playing it safe and injecting weird shit into it. I'm not getting into it, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you just got a bunch of talentless people in there too that are tweeting nonsense on Twitter. So yeah, so it's a couple factors. But yeah, I have noticed that. But it's not for everything. There's some sequels out there that are still good. Like motherfuckers love that Silk song. So it's not a universal thing, but yeah, for the big games, I think this is why a lot of developers are saying, fuck it, remake something that people like, this is crazy.
They don't need to go that far off the base to make something. It's like, okay, people already like it. So we don't go so far off the beaten path where this thing is not recognizable. We can still get it to work. But those are just easy. What those are just easy answers, right? Because they don't need to really think about anything. It's like, okay, wait, all I just need to do is just do a graphical remaster on this game, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
As much as I like the Metal Gear Solid Delta, I also think it is also incredibly dangerous. Because all it means is that they see, all the higher ups are going to see is, oh, hey, if we just keep remaking games, people are just going to love them, instead of actually going down the line and making something new.
Yeah.
But then again,
go ahead.
That's Konami, though. So we're like, maybe you should just stick to that.
But any company, that's doing that's going down the lines of doing these remakes and sequels. It's like, okay, we have this install base. We could just make a mediocre type of game and people will still fucking eat it up.
Oh yeah, I mean, and going to the whole sequel stuff, the reason why they don't sell as well is because they play it safe. It's pretty much, the original game 1.5. So
it might as well have been a DLC, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think about Spider-Man 2. That could have been a DLC.
Yeah.
That it's pretty much the same game. Obviously, it does have its improvements. You got another burrow, part of another burrow. But it's it was pretty much the same game. Just slightly different, story and stuff. So I can understand why there's no excitement besides the fact that the people just like Spider-Man and they like the first game, but there's nothing else that gets them lit up. Like the best example of this is GTA. We went from GTA 3 and then we went to Vice City, which is like completely different game.
Yep.
Than GTA 3 and San Andreas, and then after that it was San Andreas did something completely different. So I feel like we don't get those type of risk takers in the video game industry as much, especially not from Sony. Sony, it's like, let's stick to the formula. And it's safe and it sells games, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really excite anybody outside of the core fan base. It's unfortunate.
You're right. And the thing is, since these games take because back in the day, the sequel dropped like a year after or something. Like development didn't take so goddamn long. Now since they take forever and they cost hundreds of millions of dollars, they have to play it safe. They can't fuck around. Yeah, I don't know. It's upsetting, man. All right, another one here from Mr. Black. Oh, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I was thinking about this, and I think it could be two things, and one is a bit more controversial. The first one I agree with. It's just playing it safe, because again, you don't want to rock the boat too much. But then the controversial one is that I think these people don't have passion.
I agree.
For what they do.
I agree.
Because, again, Tony brought up Silksong, and those guys took, 8, 6, 7 years to make that game? And they just said that it'll be out when it's out. Because it's not out by a deadline. And then you can tell that they cared about what they did, just by how the game is. And I don't know, I just don't sense the same thing from. Again, I'm saying this about Insomniac. I don't see the same thing with Spider-Man or God of War anymore. Again, I could argue
I
that
agree.
God of War 1 and 2 had the passion that was there. You could argue that around 3 or Ascension, that the passion fell off. And then the rest has just been not really that much passion in there. And I think that's the main thing. Like, these people are not seeing this as we want to do the best thing we can do. It's just a case of we're doing this for a job and we get paid for it. And I don't know. I just see that with some games you can like sense the passion, and some games you just can't. And I bring this back to Kojima. Again, I may not like his games, but I can sense that they are oozing a passion. Like, he loves doing what he does, and he does it to the maximum. So I 110% respect that. So, yeah, I think it's just a lack of passion in what they do.
No, I agree because Chris, you go next. But Brian, I had that same thought when I was playing both Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden. Like, it just came. I'm like, wow, you could tell the guys that made these games love what they do. You could just tell. And I think it's so evident because you play so much shit that's just soulless, you know? And real quick, Syrian Air Force says that, he goes, Nintendo plays it safe way more. Look at Zelda. The boss in that game is always Ganondorf and Mario, Game Bowser. But here's the difference. Yes, they do stick to familiar stuff, but there's passion behind those fucking games. That's the difference. Again, I'm not the biggest Nintendo guy, but you could tell whoever made those games, they like what they're doing. They're trying to do something cool for the fans. Go ahead, bro. And then Chris goes after.
I can't believe I disagree. I can't disagree anymore.
Oh,
most games are not soulless. They're mostly souls-like.
Excuse me.
All right, that's it.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, to add on to what Brian said about lack of passion, and I'm just going to say this: to a various degree, Western studios have been kind of co-opted by just DEI hires and activists.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you have a lack of passion. You have people who don't care about the source material or the IP or anything, or the fact that, or what came before it, or who made it, right? A lot of them, and you see this to a various degree in different games, like Agraboda in God of War Ragnarok is all of a sudden black. You know, the giants are black, okay, and you're like, oh, that's interesting, and you start to see this in other games, right? You know, Spider-Man 2 had a bunch of it, so the passion is not it's not there, but it's not because just simply that these people don't care. They just look at it as a job. It's not just a job. It's more important to them for them to score political capital and put messages out instead of making a good product. And I've been saying this for a while, right? So I don't care how controversial that is. That is literally what's happening. So I mean, look at the Arkham games. Look how great they were.
Yeah.
Then you have upheaval at Rocksteady. You have most of the creatives and guys go spin off, go do something else that will get pushed out, and then you end up with Suicide Squad, right? And we hear this over and over again. And Insomniac's not the same company it was when they made the old Ratchet and Clanks. I'm sure Santa Monica's to some degree not the same studio that made the old, like you said before, pre-Ascension and all that stuff. Sucker Punch, not the same place. Like, none of these places are the same anymore. And then we see the same thing happening. We've seen the same pattern in all of these places. They're all individual studios, but we see the same problem. A lack of passion, and then all sorts of messaging in some type of either political or LGBT stuff or whatever. That's all that gets pushed into the products, right? And nobody wants to see that. You just want to play good games. Nobody wants a lecture. And Dragon
Age.
You want quality. right? Exactly. So Veilguard is dripping with that Concord, and look how that did. So
I
this is a huge problem.
No, I 100%
I
agree with that.
I feel like whatever issues that you have, Chris, are sort of a symptom of a bigger problem. I feel like the issue when it comes to making video games is that creatives are usually really brash. You know, like if like the biggest creatives in the world, when you think about them, they're really brash, hot-headed, really cynical and stuff like there's a lot of aspects when it comes to being a top tier creative that comes with it, and those type of people don't fit in a corporate structure where they have to follow. That's why there's even we even see this in Japanese developers that are sort of at that higher echelon. They don't really coexist with the type of structures where corporate America has. So what you do is these creatives don't get to make games, and you make them as a committee. It's like, oh, what do people like these days?
Well, no, that's the first thing that Tony talked about, like playing it safe. That's the committee. That's the camel, right? That's the executives and people getting together. Like, we need the next Call of Duty, right? The next Shooter Man, the next whatever, right? That's what that is. With the creative thing, I don't agree with that. If you look at Nintendo's corporate structure, it is super rigid. Those guys are passionate and creative, but if you look how they work, if you ever look at a documentary of what Kyoto's headquarters looks like, it is the most sterile place. It almost looks like a hospital how it is inside there. Cubicle structures and everything. But yet these guys are making characters, designing levels, and doing all that stuff. They're being very creative, but they're working a very, very rigid structure. But yet they're able to produce like high art and quality, right? There's a few things like that. There are creatives who cannot work in that structure, sure. But then you go indie, you go make your own thing, you go try to do that stuff, right? You don't want to work within a structure or agree with higher ups, or you just have a problem with authority. You can do what the Hollow Knight guys did or whatever. You could try that. But there, what's his name from id Software, who spun off? He did Daikatana and all
Romero?
that stuff. He made Iron Storm. John Romero, right? Yeah, John Romero. Thank you.
Carlos, how come you don't remember your
Yeah,
own
Carlos
cousin?
is your
No,
cousin.
that was the first thing I said.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, you did say it. But like he's like what you're talking about. He's like a guy who couldn't, and those were his boys, right? At id Software, and he couldn't
Yeah.
even work within that. And then he went and did his own thing. And he just got screwed over by Microsoft. We talked about that on the show. Like, he had something that was being produced through them, and they canned that. So his studio is gone. But I don't think he's the norm. I don't think that it's like every place has these creatives that can't work within the corporate American structure and whatever. I think there's plenty of guys who can, and they do because they have to, and they figure it out, right? Because we wouldn't have had the games we grew up with if they couldn't do that, right? So
I think partially think that also for those situations of games that we liked when we were younger, those were not huge investments as well.
No, they weren't, because Activision, when we were kids, when they were making NES games and Atari games or whatever, those were just a bunch of dudes rented a space and somewhere, called their company Activision, whatever. Now it's grown into this awful juggernaut that's just abhorrent. It's not even remotely reflects when we were growing up in the 80s and 90s what that company was. No company is like that, because it usually spawns from a good place. It's like Electronic Arts or whatever. Those places started off small, they're small teams or whatever, but as they grew and got investments and whatever, they got corrupted, right? They're just huge juggernauts, and they buy multiple studios, and the structure is all about profit, right? So what works? what do we have? Battlefield, but okay, new Battlefield. Crank out the next FIFA, crank out the next NFL game, whatever. But they don't take chances anymore. They once in a while something will break through, and it's a rarity. But like, what do the guys have to do now? You have to go spin off and make a clear obscure game, right? You have to take a chance, right? Jump off. You have to make a Silk Song. The other, so you're right on that respect, but I don't think that's the only problem. And I think a lot of it is that you have people in there who are, like Brian said, not passionate, but they're not passionate because this is just a 9 to 5 and they're just putting in the bare minimum. I wish it was that, because those people at least could improve, right? You could say like, hey, this project is lackluster, it's not selling whatever, and you coach people and you say, let's look at what came before, let's look at this and see what worked and try to gain that back. But these current people don't care about that.
Yeah, the people that are there, I'm not saying this about any specific developer. This is just of people with their mindset, right? They don't need to improve because they're already perfect, right? And we also have heard reports of like the cultures of like toxic positivity, where you're not allowed to correct someone if they do something wrong. Just constant encouragement, even though they know they're fucking up. So that's also affecting things as well. We've heard those reports several times. So
I feel like I feel like for video games, unless you're doing like a service game or something like that, I feel like for the most part, if you truly want to create an artistic game, like you need a leader, you need a singular lead force for the game to lead everyone to follow sort of your vision. Like Kojima is the perfect example. Like he's done that multiple times successfully.
Yeah,
and he wasn't even meant for the corporate structure. So he had to spin off to do his own thing.
It's difficult to have that, Carlos. And by the way, I agree with you. When your team is 1,000 people, because that's the other problem too. Here's the thing: even before all this social stuff started seeping into video games, we were already seeing this happen, right? Just because of how big game studios are, So it is just kind of like, okay, fuck it. We know this is going to make money. It's like boardroom gaming, right? It's like, just what are the check boxes we need to hit? Bam, 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 bam. Get that out the door, right? Whereas before, like we said, it was 20 dudes in a fucking garage making a game, with one crazy guy leading the charge, And
think about it like this: if you didn't have, it's crazy that I'm saying this, but you need an authoritative figure when it comes to video games, because that's what leads to having consulting firms. It's like, why the hell are you consulting with someone to make a video game? Like that's what leads to those types of things.
Yeah,
because you're right.
Think about it's funny we talk about like, Silk Song, they only had 4 dudes or whatever. Mortal Kombat also only had 4 dudes. It's like, it shows you that if you have a small team that's passionate and dedicated and talented, you can make magic happen.
Look at No Man's Sky. Look how much it's evolved over. Note that those guys are what less than 20 people. Right?
Yeah, they fucked up, but they listened to the fans. Like, oh shit, okay. Like, so as much shit as we talk about No Man's Sky, we got to give them respect too for what they've done.
Sean Murray,
our boy,
he deserves an award for redemption and shit.
For real, man. All right,
they did what what's his face could never do: shut up and just sit down and make
Randy Pitchford,
Pitchford, not right, Randy Pitchford and Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Peter Molyneux overtalked his game to the point where it literally could never, whatever came out could never hold a candle of what he had said.
But he even flat out said he lied. It's like, oh, that's what gets your attention. I gotta lie.
He says a bunch of things to just get people's attention. So, and then later on, they actually have to go in and make that thing that he just, like, crazy thing he just said.
Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts on this? All right. Let's move on here. Another one from Mr. Black Viet. What are your thoughts on influencers complaining about frame rates in recent releases? I watch these videos and I go, well, I'll wait a year to buy it. But I just bought Borderlands 4, and so far I don't see anything wrong with the game. It's just the same thing that happened with Metal Gear Delta. Bigger extent because... Yeah, no, because with Metal Gear Delta, it's not as big of a game as Borderlands 4, but it's the same deal. Basically, Digital Foundry puts out a video, they find that the game has like unstable frame rates, and then the community goes fucking crazy. You know? And again, I'm saying this as someone that really likes Digital Foundry, you know? But yeah, it's like, here's the thing. I'm not saying these games don't have problems. They obviously do, right? But at the same time, I don't want people to just be like, oh, Digital Foundry said it? Okay, I'm good. I'm not going to buy a game, you know? Like, there's got to come a point, especially when it comes to, like, games that are on PC. Maybe your rig is not going to be, you know, it's going to produce better results than somebody else's shit, you know?
And then also we're talking about, like, he might be playing on a console. I don't know. Again,
yeah, I don't know, yeah.
I also think to a lot of it also comes from, like, a regular person versus a regular person's eye, as opposed to somebody that is, you know, who legitimately can see these things. I think for a lot of these games, most players will not perceive a lot of the performance issues that Digital Foundry, you know, lets people know that are in these games. But the problem is that there is no differentiation between because again, like I think I said this before when they talked about the Donkey Kong game. Right.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, this game has awful, frame pacing and all, you know, the usual listing of Digital Foundry issues." Right. But and nowhere in that does it ever say that it does it. How will it affect a person's enjoyment?
No, they do say that despite all that, they said the game is still enjoyable, you know?
But yeah, I think anybody hears anything about problems, everybody's already attempting to look through things like with a fine-tooth comb, which I do think is a bit of a problem. Obviously, games should be working properly, but the thing is, one thing I will have to call out on Digital Foundry.
Uh-oh.
You know, so they may know a lot about frame rates and a lot about all this other stuff, but none of those guys have ever shipped a game before.
But can't you say that about most people?
Yeah. None of those guys are like, okay, instead of saying there's problems, maybe there's also other issues because again, each game is its own animal, right? Where it's like not everybody develops a game exactly the same as the other. So each game has their own bottlenecks, each game has all of their own issues. But none of those things really get known. They just say, "Oh, there's issues." We don't know why. Just it doesn't look as good.
Oh, okay, they have done it for a few games. I don't remember the ones off the top of my head, but there has been at least one that I know of where they've said that I think it was Valhalla or around that time frame. There was a game that came out. They said it has issues. They said, well, I won't say that they came to the conclusion, but they suggested what they think the issue could be, and then developers took that on board. They investigated and found out that actually was the problem, and then they patched it. So there have been cases where they do that. Again, I don't watch the videos as often anymore, so I don't know if they're still doing it now, but it has happened at least once. So that's all I know.
But I think the fact that for the regular, I consider a lot of those streamers are just enthusiasts more than they are actual tech people, and the fact that they know that there's a problem, then now they're seeing problems everywhere. It's sort of like pointing out that The Rock is missing on Saget's stage in one of the ports of Street Fighter, right? It's like you didn't notice it until somebody went there and put a big arrow saying it's missing. So I on one end, it's like, yes, we should know that these issues are issues, but I also think that there should be a little bit more nuance, because all anybody hears is just, oh, there's problems, another game launching with issues, you know?
Yeah. But I think if a game does have problems, you do want to know about it. But at
You
the
do
same
wanna know, but,
time,
like, but
people do get hyper fixated on things that may not be that much of a problem. So it's like you said, it's a little we need a little bit more nuance because yes, in some cases the shit is fucked up, but in other cases
Yeah.
you might be overblowing it.
the way a lot of the current talk about some certain games as performance issues is that there is almost as bad as Cyberpunk when it launched.
Yeah.
No, none of the I don't need, at least from the people that I know that played that new Borderlands game, they were not experiencing issues like that. I mean, yeah, maybe there was a couple of small cases that did have some like crashes, but I don't know. Like, I don't think these things are nearly as bad as people are making them out to be.
In some cases.
But I also think for Borderlands, Randy Pitchford doesn't do a good job of not making it seem like it's a cover up. He could, again, he could have been like, hey, listen, we understand that there's some players are, what do they call the marketing speak answer? Some players are experiencing issues with this game, and we're looking into addressing. That's it.
Yeah, there's no
That's
marketing speak with Randy. He just says you're not a premium enough gamer, man. Get a better rig, you poor bastard.
Get a better rig, buy a PlayStation 5 Pro, whatever he says.
Oh, man. All right. Before we go to the last question here, Brian, it's apparently the 14th anniversary of Senran Kagura. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed because I don't know the name of the developer, but they just stopped making those games. I'm guessing because certain voices were loud enough to be heard, and so hence they said, "Oh, people don't want this game anymore." So, yeah, I've not seen a good one in years.
That's sad. But at least you got those Nikkei games now, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah,
They're like shooters, aren't they?
I don't know exactly what the hell they are because I keep seeing screenshots and it's either one of two things. Either it's the characters stood there with their guns or the other one that Tony's laughing at. So yeah, those are the only two things that I see. So I don't know what the hell the game's about. But I do know that they just had a crossover or a doing one with Resident Evil, and they have I think they had Claire. She's the one from 2, right?
Yeah.
No.
Goddess of Victory Nikkei. What the hell genre is it? So third-person shooter. It says, so this is what Wikipedia says. Take that with a grain of salt. A third-person shooter action role-playing video game by Shift Up.
Okay.
Same people that made Stellar Blade.
All I see is girls' ass in your face and they're shooting stuff. That's all I see.
They know what their audience wants.
Yeah. So I guess, Brian, since we don't get Senran Kagura, we get these Nikkei games instead.
Apparently they're really popular and they make like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Jesus.
So fair enough.
Fair enough indeed. All right, man. Last question of the night. So this is a sponsored question from Mr. Romuldin. He's sponsoring one of a certain Air Force's questions. Will Tokyo Game Show have any surprises or megatons? I hope so.
Don't know.
I hope so. All I know is this year there's going to be a lot of fighting game news. Sega's going to be showing off Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, maybe the new one. We're going to have more Street Fighter stuff. 2XKO is probably going to be there. There's going to be more Tokon shit. So, like, there's some other stuff I'm probably forgetting, but yeah, if you're a fighting game guy, this is the show to watch, man. There's going to be some big stuff. But here's the thing with TGS, it's always for obvious reasons more Japanese focused. So, don't expect big Xbox shit happening at the show. I don't think. Could you imagine that they announced the price of the ROG Ally exclusively on the fucking TGS? I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. But yeah, don't expect big Western game stuff. Definitely more of the Japanese variety. I'm going to throw one out there for Riku right now. I predict they're going to announce Trails in the Sky Remake 2. he'll go nuts when that's happening. By the way, Riku literally took a day off work on Friday so he could play the Trails in the Sky remake, and he's already put over 50 hours into it. My man's going ham, you know?
The old Riku has been ignited.
Yes, the old Riku has been reignited. Yes, indeed. So he's going to get the platinum in that. But yeah, what about the rest of you guys? What do you think we might see at Tokyo Game Show?
I mean, Kojima said he's going to have some sort of thing that's happening around that time, so maybe he'll talk a little bit more. There's a thing they call it the future of what Kojima Productions after the Strand.
Yeah. That's fun.
Sounds like he wants to talk a little bit more about the future plans for Kojima Productions after Death Stranding. So we'll see. Maybe there's some stuff about OD, and maybe there'll be some stuff about Fizzin, or some other small things he wants to do in there. So that I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with all that stuff. It's weird because when Tokyo Game Show comes along, we sort of already know what's coming in the future.
Yeah.
Rarely do we get anything that's something that's out of nowhere.
Yeah, like Capcom announced all this stuff. It's stuff we already know. Resident Evil, Pragbata. Like it would be cool if they go, oh, Mega Man 12, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah. According to some people, Pragbata is a Mega Man game.
It's fucking crazy.
I don't know where that game.
Her arms blue, son. This Mega Man's.
She's got round arms that looks like Buster cannons.
They're gonna have Onimusha. They're gonna have Omnimusha. They're gonna have Onimushu.
Brett's favorite game, Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon ports for remaster. There you go. So yeah, it should be a fun show. So I don't know if Tokyo Game Show will be going. It probably will be starting on Thursday, and it'll go through Sunday. So we'll definitely be covering it here on Throwdown. So that'll be fun.
Does Jeff have thing for that?
I don't think I don't know. That's a good question. Like, well, maybe because Kojima's going to be doing something,
Oh, Chaboy.
But like, has Jeff Keighley ever done anything with TGS? I can't recall.
No, I mean, other than if anything, he would. Well, no, because he's not like the American correspondent for Kojima.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not the Japanese correspondent for Kojima. I would think it would be somebody from Japan that does anything, related.
Yeah, like let's go to Summer Game Fest or what account should I go to? Let's go over Summer Game Fest. Like, are they talking about
Summer
TGS?
Game Fest.
Oh shit! Summer Game Fest. Oh god!
Oh god!
Here we go. Summer Game Fest. Have they been tweeting anything about Tokyo Games? And then, oh wow, they haven't tweeted since August. So that's that.
Uh-oh. I guess that's a no.
Yeah, that's a no. Yeah, they haven't. What about the Game Awards?
Game Awards has tweeted things.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see what they got. The last time they tweeted was also August 19th. The fuck happened that day? It was also August 19th. Very interesting. All right. So we're probably not going to get anything related from Jeff Keighley, but you never know. A certain reference says they will announce Resident Evil 9 for PS4, telling us it runs at 480p. Probably,
But is it 60 frames?
It's 60 frames, I got. All right, man. Let's start wrapping it up. Manny, what you got to plug?
Yes. So, New York Comic Con is coming up very, very soon. So I'm going to be there in the Artist Alley. I think I'm at I-23, which is my table. So if you're in New York City at the show, come drop by and say what's up. I'll have all kinds of fun wares. Some of my prints that I had and books that I had from the MGS Con recently that I did, as well as some other things. I have some GI Joe books that worked on covers with Kari Randolph, as well as my Power Rangers #9 cover. So it's going to be a fun time. What do I got coming soon? keep talking about Street Sharks. I think Street Sharks is coming out real soon. And what's the next one up? Yeah, and then I think it's TMNT Journeys #2. So all kinds of fun stuff. Stay tuned.
Barry Burns says they canceled the RoboCop reunion. Boycott. # boycott NYCC.
I mean,
Wait,
you know, I
everyone
mean,
but
Peter
Barry.
Weller's like fucking 80 or 90 years old. So who knows?
Oh man. And things haven't been finalized yet, but you might see me at Comic-Con too. Stay tuned. You know, you know what we should do? Like, what? Because you know, I already like signed up for a press badge. I'm just waiting for confirmation. Manny, one thing we should do, maybe for the fans, like I will be at Manny's booth at this time. You know, like if they want to catch both of us. So I think that might be fun. You know, it'll be on Saturday for sure if that happens. So that'll be fun. All right, Carlos, what's going on with the coalition?
Yeah, if you guys want to tune into the coalition, that's the coalition with a K. We just posted recently, a couple of minutes ago, a couple of hours ago, actually, like 2 hours ago, the I Am Negan show.
Excuse me?
Which is hosted by Adam Vale, Mr. Richard Bailey Jr., and myself, where we talk about all things The Walking Dead and Walking Dead universe. Currently, we're talking about the Daryl Dixon show, season 3, I believe, episode 3. Which you know, Daryl Dixon just came out this weekend or today. You can catch episode 3 recap if you want to tune into that. But we do those every day or every week, where you can catch me, Adam, and Rich. And yeah, just tune into the TV terminal also.
Yeah.
Adam's putting a lot of work to that channel, so go show him some love.
Yeah, so much work that he can't be on Throwdown anymore.
That's the second job that, you know, that people work.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. All right, man. So wrapping up. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord and follow us on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
And Brian Manjoma.
Apparently, they're having votes on Discord about who'll be the next president in some parts of the world these days.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, look at this. Adam shows up right at the end. Hilarious.
I'm telling you, it's like the
Oh,
street.
man.
Like I'm running from one show to the other. I'm gotta go.
Like we're literally
man.
doing the closeout.
Oh,
We literally pimped the TV terminal like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, Joe, this is I'm at 995. 995 away from 1,000.
That's it. Go
This is it.
sub, motherfuckers.
This is it, please. Oh, we just finished recording Slow Horses episode 1 for season 5. That's what I was just doing right now. That goes up on Wednesday. And then we just ended, and I looked at the time. I'm like, I don't know. You guys go long sometimes you don't. It's only 11:08 where I'm at. So I was like, let me jump in. Let's see. What's up? What
Well,
did I miss?
nothing's
Let's
up. We're
start
done.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah, that's
First
it.
Question,
First
first question of the night. Here we go.
Nah, we're done. We're already running too long anyway. But I'm glad you said. So yeah, what do you got going on with the TV terminal specifically?
Oh man, we got what I got there. Tons of stuff. All right, so Tulsa King season 3 episode 1. That's the Stallone drama. Fantastic, where he's the mob guy who goes out to Oklahoma, takes over, runs shop over there. Craziness, a lot of shooting, killing stuff. So that came out today. We dropped our first episode also today, so that's doing pretty well. People out there watching that. Also we have Gen V doing that with Josh, also from the Coalition, and that drops episode 4 on Wednesday. So we got that one done. We did man, what do? We did right now the Slow Horses. We also did Darkwind
Dutch?
Damn. Oh my Lord, I'm all over. The Eternalist Dark Wolf. We just recorded that, the finale of that, which also airs on Wednesday. Tons of stuff. So if you watch any of the shows I just mentioned, then jump over to the TV terminal and then jump into the chats. We do a full recap. We throw images. We put audio sound bites. and we either talk about the show that we like, or we just goof and poo-poo it. But either way, it's a good time because it's just talking about the shows. That's it. We don't take it too serious. We're not over analyzing and super putting some massive speech together. No, we just watched it. We jump in and we talk shit about it, and that's it. That's what we do.
There you go. Good stuff. All right, guys. So we'll see you on Thursday, man. TGS is coming later.